I've never felt so proud of our boy, or at least the pride that I used to feel more often. It has returned with a profound grace, as if they heard our cries, whining and pleas from the summer event, begging to return the commander the balls he once had. They dropped this event to shut us up. To shut me up, more importantly. Once upon a time, we begged for Commander to be a little more realistic as a healthy, regenerating, handsome, sometimes does naughty stuff, male in a harem full of thirsty, ripened ladies. In situations where 99% of the fan base would lose their will to keep it in their pants, the Commander did the opposite, flustered himself out of every opportunity, ignoring obvious playful requests and invitations to a good time. Understandably, it was hard to watch, almost like flipping a coin every event to see what kind of commander we were getting. Of course, there were those that found this behavior justified. They argued a constantly heated commander would make writing simple storylines exhausting and stain his good character. After all, he's written as the upstanding good guy, a man that puts his beloved NIKKEs over anything else. They don't want to write him like he's doing it for the pussy, otherwise a lot of his actions up until now will feel less painful and dirty. And I agree with a lot of this rhetoric. The story is as good as it is because of his ability to keep it in his pants, to let other characters shine without him drooling down their chests every scene. However, might I remind those people first and foremost what kind of game this is. NIKKE is marketed as a harem simulator full of exposed ladies, and their target demographic is the average gooner. Each character comes with a bond story, and every single one of them, even the straight up evil ones, have their bonding moment with the commander. Did I say every single one? Sorry, I forgot about the mermaid. Point being, the target demographic expects the protagonist of the game to sort of align with their interests. Again, the interest doesn't mean to install a Womb Force 6900 on every single NIKKE and go to town. It means don't shy away from lavish opportunities. That's a vague way of putting it, so let's give an example. How about a recently notorious one? Oleg invites Commander to play with her buttons. It's a summer swimsuit setting. We're here for a mission, but simultaneously told to catch a vacation. Oleg flirts with us, but Rappy is standing nearby. What did we want Commander to do? Option A, tell Oleg we'll play with them later, but now is not the time. Bam! Acknowledges our curiosity, but doing it in front of everyone is out of our pay range. Option B, tease her back knowing she would back down. Ask if it's cool to take it apart in front of everyone here and exclaim how she's gotten quite bold. Knowing Oleg, this would surely take her by surprise and cause her to short circuit. Option C, pretend to not know what she meant but give her a compliment anyway. Something lighthearted like, hey, that's pretty cool and it really suits you. Kinda like what Naita was doing to the retards when they were bombarding her with questions. This is much better than awkwardly shying away and throwing Oleg's invitation aside. I hope I've made my point clear. Commander can be cool and a hard sausage at the same time. So back to the Coin Rush event. Before the release of this story, we were graced with key visuals and trailers that humored that our dear Commander was back. Just this image alone sent us booking to the rooftops and shouting his name. It was as if Shift Up knew we would be disappointed in him in the summer event and planned a 180 turnaround as soon as bunny girls were involved. So the question is, did they deliver? Did he deliver? Let's just say the key visuals were not just clickbait. There was a lot of grabbing, and it was done in a suitable fashion. The best part were the characters that were chosen for this endeavor. Milk is a hot-headed brawler with some sprinkles of tomboy here and there. This archetype was not only thrown into a bunny suit, but was a first-hand responder to the commander's undercover mission. Aid is also a participant in the event. Normally, she's an upright professional maid who is sure to present herself in the best way possible. Previously, she was known not to partake in any risque dialogue, but with Mustang wingmanning us, we get to witness a true godly ascension. Such drastic changes reminds me of the evolution of D into killer wife. These were NIKKEs that most forgot about within a month, to NIKKEs that will stand out from their peers. Particularly images like this will never wash away. We are back on the path of righteousness. We might as well talk about this image. This was the pinnacle moment in which I jumped out of my chair. The commander, seemingly without hesitation, played the role of a scumbag womanizer perfectly. He didn't think twice to grab his escorts by the waist and dominate the room with his swagger. Even with the sounds of sweaty panic coming from both sides, he continued on his rampage. And at that rate, I thought we would venture into dangerous territory. But to my surprise, for once, we didn't. Milk consumed by a flustered anger gives us a sitrep. Not only do we nod along, but we are given two fantastic dialogue choices that felt like friends we hadn't seen in a long time. Of course, most of us chose the second option, and that is when I felt it in my soul. It wasn't a ruse after all. What followed was a brief moment of heaven. To see the red-faced Milk so caught up in what we said is exactly what we needed a few events ago. A2 was not off the hook. Instead of dialogue, we were gifted a symphony. To outsiders, this scene was just a typical nod to fan service, but to us, this was the resurrection of Rizzus Christ himself. Oh, how we missed you, brother. Compare this moment to when we encountered Velvet at the bar alone. The antagonist of the story asks to meet us without support, so we make our way there to the bar, and there she is, waiting. This is literally Viper 2.0. Not just size, but thirst and danger. And just like how we handled Viper back then, we cautiously negotiate with this voluptuous entity. We aren't stupid enough to fall for her tricks, her remarks at love. We barely know this chick, but we gotta play along. She rubs our thigh and breathes into our ear. I'd probably lose right there. I've got some weak-ass ears. Yet Rizzus Christ is unfazed. He deals with this every day, is what we all thought, as he continues his mission. Despite our efforts, not much information is granted, and before she swallows us whole, our trusty maid swoops in as a valiant shield. Now, what's going on here? I don't see your so-called based horny commander giving in to his carnal desires like you wanted, Aizen. Exactly. This scene works well because we are dealing with someone we don't know. While there is no sense of evil intention from Velvet, the commander isn't here to play, which was clearly indicated. This guy isn't a useful idiot that thinks with his schnitzel. So yes, it was a powerful way to introduce the next thirst trap character, but we didn't fall for it. Perhaps a lot could be attributed to the extreme character design choices, but the reader was supposed to follow suit of the protagonist, to feel what he was feeling, and it was done almost perfectly. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I made this video, besides giving you some was to make sure Shift Up gets praised when they do something well. We sharded all over them when they got things wrong back in the summer event, so it makes sense to give them love when they get things right. Positive reinforcement is a hell of a thing, folks. So to make sure we get this version of Commander more often, I wanted to be public about it, to spread the good tidings. I wanted to get into details as to why this commander worked in multiple scenarios, since simply saying commander was based this event doesn't really say much to the writing team. We need this commander in the main story, the next beach event, and whatever else is to come. I'm glad we at least have one event, even if it wasn't the best event, but one event to reassure us that he still lives. I just hope 1 month from now I don't end up making the same video, but with the opposite attitude. Keep it up, writing team, and Godspeed. And last but certainly not least, I have to thank the supporters of the channel. You guys are beautiful. Thank you.